So we're going to take a closer look now at the trims associated with this panel cladding. This particular product is from the former range. First up is this one that I've already installed. This is the external corner trim. Close up, it looks like this. So you can see what's interesting is it has these extended flanges, which means when you pre-drill it and screw it to fix it back, those fixings in turn will be hidden. You'll see in a minute. I used this smart bit to pre-drill and countersink that flange that I've just mentioned in one hit. So I must stress, this is nothing other than a mock-up to be used for demonstration purposes. We are purely looking at how the trims work and how they interface within the cladding system. Your project will look quite different. You will have prepped your walls with the required counterbands and so on and so forth. I'm going to install a couple of pieces of cladding now using the clips. I've already installed the aluminium starter bar, pre-drilled and screwed that on. The clips that we use are these. These are aluminium, available in boxes of 250, and much like the corner trim, afford you the opportunity of fixing this cladding system in without any visible fixings whatsoever. These are installed every 500 millimeters. So as you can see, as you build your cladding wall up, all of the fixings, both on the corner trim and on the clips, are completely hidden, which leaves a very neat, slick finish. So the second trim that I'd like to take a look at is this. This is called an F trim for obvious reasons. It has two functions. It can be used when you're approaching a door or a window, for example, or it can be used in lieu of the aluminium starter bar if this was at first floor height and you didn't want to see an aluminium trim installed horizontally. Much like the corner trim, this has an extended flange, so that when it's countersunk and fixed to the wall, the screws are hidden by the cladding. I'll show you now. So as you can see, the screws are on that extended flange. So when you come to install your cladding, they're hidden. So the third trim that I want to look at is this. This is a joint trim. The cladding that we're talking about is available in 3.6 meter lengths, but invariably you need to span more than 3.6 meters, which means you have to have joints, and there's two ways of doing those joints. You can either stagger them so that your eye is not drawn to one particular line of joints, but you do have to leave a gap, and you will see that gap. The gap is there for expansion and contraction. There's more information on that in the website. The other way of doing it is to have a single row of joints wherever that happens to fall, and that can be covered with this joint trim. Much like the other trims that we've discussed, it has extended flanges, so that when you pre-drill it and screw it, the cladding will cover those screws. So we've installed our joint trim now, screwed in every 400 millimeters. And as you can see, the joint is covered. But more importantly than that, as the gap in between these two boards expands and contracts as time goes by and as seasons go by, you'll never see it. All you will see is the joint trim. So the last trim that I want to talk about, and this really does highlight what Ecoscape are all about and the thought and attention to detail that they go to offer a full system, is this trim. This is an internal corner. It operates much the same way as all the external ones, apart from it fits on the inside of a corner. Same colour as the cladding, same surface finish as the cladding, same extended flanges to accept screws that then become hidden once the cladding is installed. I'll show you how it works. So we've installed our internal corner trim now, pre-drilled, countersunk and fixed every 400 millimeters. Invariably, you would have either an aluminium starter bar to start your cladding or an F trim like we've just talked about. But just for the purposes of showing you how the cladding hides these screws, I'm going to drop another piece in here like that, and you can see how the surface finish of the cladding matches the visible portion of the internal corner trim.